Hello everyone, welcome to Redbus TS channel. In this video, we'll look at the recent executive order on AI that President Biden signed. We look at the guidance that it has around visa stampings, H1B visas, green cards, and other aspects. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, do subscribe for getting regular updates. So what we'll cover in this video is we look at the background, we look at the overall order, we look at each of these topics, right, that they've covered in the executive order and what it means, and our analysis around the same as well. Okay. So when it comes to news, so this is what exactly has happened. So this is the executive order that was signed by Biden. This is what you see that was published in Federal Register, and this is on the White House website as well, right? So these are the two things that has official executive order details. Now, looking at the background, right, this is something that has not happened overnight. So the executive order of 14110, which is called safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of artificial intelligence. This basically, was actually done as part of last year's October 2022. It started basically with the blueprint of an AI bill that started last year. And post that, recently, this is what the executive order signed. And the main initiatives are around innovation, safety, security of AI. Again, for our context, what is important is it has many ways to recruit and retain AI talent. So this is where immigration comes into the picture, and that's what we'll cover in most of the video, right, or the recording that we do. Now, the first one is streamlining visa processing times streamlining the processing times of visa applications, visa appointments. So what it says is the executive order within 90 days from the date of the EO, they need to streamline visa application processing times and petition processing times with the DHS, USCIS. So again, in terms of this is something that's not new. In fact, USCIS has been doing some of these processing time, working on some initiatives to change this. But what we could expect is, maybe if somebody is working in AI, they could add an expedited criteria, in that aspect, right? So the second one, what they have is more around US visa appointments for stamping outside consulates, right? So they want to basically give appointments availability for somebody, trying to come to US for AI-related aspects, right? So again, this is something, it's something that cannot happen within 90 days, right? To be in all realistic, right? Because you need to hire consular officers and all sorts of things. But what we could expect is that they may provide an option for to raise NIE, national interest waiver, kind of an exception, similar to what was done during the COVID, or give an option for emergency appointment. So this is what we can expect in this. So the second one, what they have is in terms of domestic visa renewals for F1 and J1 holders, right? So what they say is within the 120 days of the sign of EO, they want to facilitate domestic visa stamping for anyone working in AI or critical emerging fields. So again, if you look at it, this is something not new. This has been going on for a very long time. And even if you're not part of AI, currently there is a regulation that is basically with the Office of Management and Budget that is in review. So there are plans in place to have it ready by early 2024. This has been explained, as part of many press releases. When the president actually visited, certain places, or this has been in the news for quite some time, right? Again, this is not new. Also, one important new thing added to this is within 180 days, they want to do a rulemaking to expand it to STEM fields for F1 holders and J1 researchers. Again, if you look at it, this is also something that US Department of State wanted to do. So they wanted to start with F1 and J1s, H&L, and then they wanted to move it to expand it to others. So what this EO will do will basically help, accelerate that. That's what we can expect, right? So again, this one is continuing the rulemaking within 180 days, basically continuing modernizing the H1B Visa program, right? So we have another video that completely talks about it. So this is something that's already in motion and working. So basically, there is nothing new here, to be very frank, right? So just to continue it, that's all it says, right? So there's nothing new here. Now, this is another big one, changes to green card and EB1, EB2 kind of things, right? So what this is, within 180 days, look at ways to modernize immigration pathways for EB1, EB2 and O1 categories, and, look at the international entrepreneur rule kind of things as well, right? So this is, again, they're giving very, very broad statement to look at modernizing the pathways. Again, we don't know what they mean by that. So for example, if you look at international entrepreneur rule, they have an option where you can apply for parole Parole is nothing but an official permission given by DHS to enter and remain temporarily in the US for work, right? So again, maybe they could offer parole programs for somebody in the AI areas, right? Or or they could do something like updating STEM designated degrees, which they did back in 2022, where they updated the list for STEM OPT kind of things, right? So this is something what we can expect. And again, they also want to say, improve rulemaking to, basically to process anyone in AI and other technologies for their spouses and children, right? So this was a very, very broad. We don't know what they really mean by that. This is very subjective. And I doubt if something would really happen in the next 6 months. So this is what we could expect in the next 6 months, right? So another one they have is within 45 days, look at the scheduler list, right? And basically, scheduler list is something where physical therapists or nurses, where there is not enough workers in that, they don't have to go through a lab certification process. So what they're saying is, review, get public input on the next 45 days to find out if AI and STEM related occupations have shortage of workers. So if there is a survey and all of these things come in telling that there is definite shortage, then there is no need to do the labor test, labor market test, right? Essentially to find out, go through the labor certification process, which is another, 6 to 8 months or even longer with the prevailing wage things and all. So if this gets added to Schedule A, then, then it will be much easier. The, people within this field can directly apply for I-140 with USCIS for the green card process, right? Again, the last one they have is more around, again, the second one is J1 residency requirements. So let's say, J1 program, essentially what they have is research scholars, from other countries can come in and be in the US, and then after they basically work or learn the skills, then they need to go back to their country, right, for 2 years and stay there. So this is the kind of requirement that is in J1 research program. And again, there is a list of countries and what are these J1 skills and all of that, right? There's a complete program around it. So what they're saying is within 120 days, need to look at this, what countries are eligible for this, what skills and all of these things, look at the overall program and then change it, right? Again, if, basically review this to a requirement, if they can remove this or put in some clauses around that, right? So with this, what can happen is, if somebody is in an AI area, they could continue to work and don't have this requirement. Again, these are all expectations or guesses, right? So we need to wait and see. So this, again, they want to update this revised exchange visitor skills list. This was back from 2009 and this has not been updated. So, I mean, this is a big list which has a list of countries and skills that can be exchanged and all of that, right? And they want to review and update that. So the last one is more about attracting foreign talent, right, for AI. So this is something within 45 days they want to do. But again, this is a very broad initiative, attracting foreign nationals, how they can attract all of these. This can really take some time and years, right? Look at the policies and give them guidance and all of that, right? So again, this was very, very broad. So we need to wait and see what really come out. So what I expect in the next, in terms of next steps is more around, the next 45 to 180 days, we may see some new policy documents. We may see, some changes in USA's policy manual. We may see some new regulations that may be for public comments. So we could expect all of these in the next, month or two, right? Or even the next 6 months. But in terms of real impact, nothing may happen really, really soon. So we need to wait and see and how USCIS and DHS will act on these. So again, this is just an executive order given by the guidance. So they cannot really change the regulations without, overnight, right? So these are all like where administrative has to again, give guidance, and then some of these are by Congress. So some of this cannot be changed. So we'll have to wait and see what really come out. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.